Hey guys, welcome back to BachMakers, your favorite show that recaps all things Bachelor Nation. Before we continue with this episode, we're going to ask you very nicely, Michael, please deliver the news.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share.
In that order, or reverse the order. It doesn't matter to us. Just do those things. Helps us. Enjoy this episode. We'll see you in the episode. Just keep watching. All right. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BachMakers. Today, we will be recapping Golden Hometowns and whatever happened on Paradise this week. I'm Wyatt. That's Michael. Happy to have you. And first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to all the BachMakers out there who followed us on TikTok. We're doing some numbies on TikTok right now, so we appreciate the love there. Thank you. We're growing the show week by week. We'll be here every Monday until I don't know what we're going to do once the Bachelor returns on Monday. We'll have to change the schedule.
If
but
it does, you never know. You never know.
They have to keep their Monday slot.
You never know.
But
you never know.
You're right. We'll never until further notice. We will be here every Monday. So we appreciate the love on the TikTok and keep watching on YouTube. Like the video if you've watched at all. Michael, scoreboard check. This is a heater. It's going to come down to the wire.
It's going to come down, I think, to one thing and one thing only.
Is if Leslie's the winner?
If Leslie's the winner. Because there's one more rose to get. There's one more rose that Leslie can get, right?
Yes.
And that rose would also include a ring.
Yes.
So
this is going to be a heavy Golden Bachelor episode, I feel like. There's a lot to figure out here.
Yeah.
Because this is the first time we've gotten some legit tease drama. It feels like a normal season, not just like a fun little side thing. So you got 1 point because Leslie's the only person to receive a rose on the Golden Bachelor, which we will get into.
And Bachelor in Paradise, the only person on Thursday to receive a rose.
There wasn't a rose ceremony. The only person to receive a rose, so kind of a layup Golden Glammy if that's the route you want to go.
I'm not. I won't
either. No spoilers, but I won't either.
Mine's okay. I would.
We'll get there.
Mine's gonna be a shocker.
Mine too. All right, we'll get there as quick as possible. You got 1 point for Leslie. The score is 12-11.
Yep.
I have Blake remaining, and you have Leslie, Braden, and Rachel, which makes me very nervous. Blake, I need Blake to clutch up somehow, some way.
I think, now the guys have the roses. Yep, the guys have the roses.
So girls will be going home. So I need Rachel to somehow go home.
You need Rachel to go home, which it kind of might
potentially could happen. That would be huge for me.
That would.
So we'll keep an eye on that. And again, the loser after the season has to get a poster of the other person in big Bachelor promo and hanging in their room until the next one. Golden Glammy. I'm going somewhere weird here. Do you want to go first?
I do want to go first, just in case you steal mine.
Okay, go for it.
So mine's not a contestant.
Mine isn't either.
Okay, mine's Faith's older sister. Is that yours too?
Faith's older sister.
I'm
trying to remember her.
Hot. Who's hot? Who's so hot?
Yeah. I do remember her.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. That's my Golden Glammy. Strictly because, not just because she's hot, actually. No. Because she she did well. She asked Gerry some good questions, and Gerry obviously told her that he loves Faith. So, I don't know. She was a sweetheart on camera, well, handled the whole hometown situation well. So she's my Golden Glammy.
I like it. It's a good pick. My Golden Glammy isn't a Golden Glammy at all, and I'm gonna ask for permission to do this week.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going where you think I'm going.
No, I know exactly where you're going.
I promise you don't. But want to bet? You think I'm gonna go Theresa's sister?
No, Theresa's daughter.
Or not sister. Yeah, daughter. Theresa's daughter. I'm not going Theresa's daughter. Which, by the way, I'll give her a moment.
Sweetheart.
What's up?
She
What's
doesn't
up?
look anything like Theresa, which is crazy too.
Yeah, that was
Her,
wild.
her
Yeah.
sister, her sisters don't either. Her sisters don't either. Like Theresa doesn't look like anybody in the family.
Oh,
Oh,
Theresa, I had this in my notes. Teresa's the crazy sister. You can tell.
oh, for sure. Yeah, the attention-seeking sister, one might say. And
Everyone
she was
else
a
in the
middle. She was a middle child, and I was like, I found out that one of the sisters was older and one of them was younger, and I was like, that makes so much sense that she's a
yeah.
middle child.
Yeah,
But
Theresa gives off middle child energy. No, but my golden glammy, I'm gonna ask for permission to do this because I feel like we have to do this now before things get chaotic. I want to do a golden grandpa, and I just want to give this award to Gerry for the first time all season because, and I'm doing this preemptively, I think we're gonna turn on Gerry here. I think this is the last time. I
yeah,
think we take the kid gloves off. I think we're gonna be mad at Gerry here in the next couple weeks. I really don't think it's gonna end well for him.
yeah. I mean, no matter what, he's gonna be breaking hearts.
So I
You
do. I
know.
want to give him flowers now and give him this Golden Grandpa Award. I'm going to spin zone it because he has, up to this point, done a fairly great job as the
Hmm.
Golden Bachelor. The first ever Golden Bachelor. That is a tough job. It is an
Yep.
impossible position to be a lead on one of these shows. You're never going to do everything right. And I want to give him credit for that because I
Yep.
have a feeling we're going to be saying some not so nice things in the next couple weeks
Yeah.
because he's dug
Yeah.
himself so deep in a hole. I don't think he can get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. He can maybe get out of it somewhat, but he's for sure gonna be on the naughty list come Christmas time. That's for sure.
Yes, 100%. So I want to give my golden glammy to Gerry. So it's a golden grandpa. But shout out to Gerry for doing a phenomenal job this season. The rest of the way, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but up to this point, good job. Shout out to
Yep.
Gerry. Cringe of the week. You got anything good? Anything you want to lead with?
You go first. Let me read through my notes.
I know I'm looking back. The big thing I have is in Paradise, Becca and Braden's original conversation when they first were talking and they were like on this little day bed. And she said, I don't she like asked him if we vibed. She was like, do you think we vibed? That just threw me off. I like who asked that questions. It was very out of
Um,
pocket.
Gen Zers.
I live in San Diego. I'm just a single dad to my dog. Just kidding. I don't have a kid. I have a
Oh
dog.
my god, I fell for it. You got me.
I know. I'm sorry. No,
Hey,
but
but I like a goofy guy, so keep it going. Do you feel like we vibed, or
definitely, yeah.
you
No.
can see us vibing?
Yeah, it was weird. The whole conversation felt like Braden is a very personable, like outgoing person, and she just maybe it was just the way it was edited. That first initial conversation just made me feel a little uneasy. I just didn't like the energy, but I guess it worked out for her. You went on the date with her, but that whole I just wrote Becca cringe of the week. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So I've got a little two-parter. I'll talk. I'll add on to the Becca with her. Oh my God, be safe. When she was talking to John Henry on the beach, John Henry was telling, oh, like I'm a deep sea diver. She was just like, oh my God, be safe.
What's your job?
Commercial diver, like underwater welding.
Oh wow.
So-
Oh my god, isn't that dangerous?
Yeah.
Be safe.
But like, I don't
I was just like, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. And then she said, my brother fishes, so I get it. And I'm just like,
Yes, I wrote that
and you
one
see-
down.
and you see John Henry just go like, oh, like obviously like not vibing with her / that comment at all. Like, oh, okay, cool, bro. Like, that's like not even that's
Yeah.
apples. Not even apples and oranges. That's like apples and fucking a non fruit / I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Dude.
John and we'll talk about John Henry, but there was the quote 2 weeks ago about Sean saying, "I don't think he's a bad guy, he's just stupid or he's just an idiot." I changed that. I think that also applies to John Henry now. I
So
think he's a good
he's
guy.
taking-
I think he's good intentioned, but he's just a little dumb, which is fair.
Yeah, yeah. But I think he's also a little bit out of his element in Paradise. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, it'll
His
be interesting to see
demeanor.
how that plays out because Kat is just full court pressing him right now. The other cringe I had written down, I'm just catching up on my notes. Aaron B again, the Aaron B moment of the week. Him
Mm.
saying I have a disgruntled ex 12 times. Who
Yeah, he was
says
saying a
that?
lot.
I have a disgruntled ex.
Things that kind of have came out about him.
Really? So my disgruntled ex reached out to Charity back, and I'm like, wow, like this is the source of my disgruntled ex.
He speaks like a thesaurus. He brings out words just out of nowhere that you don't say in normal conversation.
Which is, I think, objectively hilarious. I think it's
yes,
awesome.
very funny.
And then my other part of my cringe of the week was from Theresa, and she said a quote that said, "I'm 70 and competing with 60-year-olds," and I'm just like, one, she turned 70 2 weeks ago, and she's competing with 60-year-olds, but like 64, 65-year-olds. So it's like, come on, Theresa, like come on, like that's. I was just like, shut up, like that was a little cringy.
Oh, one more I have written down. Kat flexing, and we'll talk about her dumping Tanner.
Oh yeah.
Her just talking about how much better she is than Tanner with Davia right behind her was really funny. Because Davia was in the back. You can see like a moment of Davia's like, this girl's crazy.
Going like, oh, okay, yeah, he dumped you. Okay, yeah sure.
And I've dated enough to know when I see one, and like that's who he is. It was like a mutual, it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
That was a little intense. All right, let's get into it. Golden Bachelor. Do we want to go date by date? Do we want to round it? Let's go date by date. It started out with Theresa. Boo. I will say, so the biggest thing on our TikTok right now, a clip about us talking about Theresa, how you saying she's probably just a good kisser. Our demographic on TikTok has skewed to like the 60, 70-year-old demographic of TikTok, and they are ruthless. Chill. But they are ruthless, man. They are going in. I almost want to like pump the brakes, but like, guys, it's a show. This is all jokes. This is reality television. But they're going in on this girl.
I was scrolling through some comments, and I did see some people agree with me saying, I think he does just like kissing her. So maybe I'm not wrong. Maybe I am not wrong. So
you'll see. So Theresa's hometown. Again, I said this last week. Hometowns just don't do it for me. There's not much to talk about. I don't know. Anything stand out from her besides her daughter?
The interaction with the grandchildren was very awkward. I don't know. For me, that was very compared to Leslie's grandchildren that were like way more fun.
Awesome. We love that family.
Yeah. I don't know. Theresa's grandchildren and that interaction seemed very scripted, and I don't know, just made me uncomfortable. The whole, Theresa's hometown date. Oh, I guess also on Theresa's hometown date, she took him to the fucking New Jersey fair. Like they weren't at a fair literally less than a week ago. I was just like, are you kidding me? Can't think of anything fucking better? Like, is there nothing better in New Jersey than the fucking seaside fair or whatever? I was just like, what? I was so confused. I was like, do you just like making out with him on the Ferris wheel? Like, is that what you were just like, oh, like, take him to a fair, I can make out with him on the Ferris wheel again. Like, you just did that.
She's like, wait, this worked last time. I'll just do it again.
Yeah, that was pretty robotic. So yeah, I wrote down Mofo is addicted to kissing Gerry on Ferris wheel. So
I did have a note. I said we talked last week how this is going to be cruel for the grandkids. I want to switch that. I think it's way more cruel for the kids. Like, imagine I put this on my story. I said it's so crazy that this dude's just going to show up and be like, I'm potentially like your dad.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like the grandkids, they don't really care. Like the grandpa role is always like just the fun loving. You see him a couple times in the holidays. It doesn't really affect you that much. For the kids to like see their mom just bring home a dude at 70 years old and say, there's a 33% chance I am your new father. That's a little strange. It's way worse for the kids than the grandkids.
And I do want to shout out Theresa's daughter. Because we saw her, a little emotional, and it would be such a tough thing. I don't know, just such tough experience for her, having like lost a father. and then like this whole experience is probably bringing back so many emotions for her.
Yeah.
I think she handled it very, very well. But you could definitely see her starting to get emotional and everything, because it just must be like just a weird experience for her, and just saying like, I don't know, this is, it's probably bringing back a lot of memories and stuff. So shout out to her. I think she handled it very well.
100%. Shout out to her. There's 2 shoulders to cry on right over here.
4.
Shut up. So Gerry also, he was asked if he was in love with her, and he said he doesn't know. That was a direct quote, which is very different from what he told the other 2 women, which is making the ending sequence so much more confusing, which again is bringing me back to the point of I don't know what's going to happen. But he said, I don't know with Theresa, which is what we assumed. We assumed he would like the other 2 better, but now with the way the whole thing ended, I'm not so sure. So do we think that was edited? Do you think he actually did say that he loves Theresa?
No, I think they would have put that in. I 100% think they would have put that in. But I do think maybe the reasoning for why he didn't say that is it was the first hometown. So maybe he was just going to go out, and he didn't really know how the hometowns were going to be, and like he didn't want to go love bombing everything.
You think they aired in order? They don't always air in order.
I don't know.
I have a theory that he dropped the love bomb twice to the other, and then he got to the very end, to the third one. Theresa was the last one, and he goes, wait a second. I can't say I love you to all 3 of them. So then he hesitated. Could be. I don't know. I think more likely than not, it was filmed in that order that we saw. But just a thought, because it's so weird that he said that. So spoiler alert, we'll talk about the other hometowns, but he said that he's in love with both Faith and Leslie.
Yep.
But he didn't say it to Theresa.
Yeah. That was strange.
Very weird. At this point, I'm almost wanting him to just say he loves all 3 of them.
Yeah, that would for sure, make the bomb, give the bomb more ammunition or gunpowder or
gunpowder.
I don't know. I would have to ask Oppenheimer for that.
Yeah.
For
just
for
rewatch
advice
the
on that
movie.
one. Nah, I can't do it a third time, man. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's too many
hours. That's
hours.
a lot of hours of my year. But yeah, and then we have Faith hometown, which was great. She was right. Did you see my? You saw the prep notes.
I haven't. I'm reading through them right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they.
Oh, geez, I'm not reading that. We're not saying that, dude. We're not saying that.
I know. I just wanted you to see it.
That's wild. But Faith does ride horses.
Yeah,
that is what he wrote. Faith rides horses.
I do think that it was very apparent of what I saw from their conversations at her hometown date that she was very big into where she lived.
It was I know this.
I cannot remember. Texas.
No, it wasn't Texas. I feel like it was it was out in like Washington.
Washington, yeah, Washington. Yeah, that's right.
Like Seattle,
like Washington or something. Yeah, you're right.
I hope
maybe
I'm
Oregon.
Right.
Yeah.
Lizzie, let me know if I'm wrong.
But
you know for sure. I'm right. Let's go. Got the thumbs up.
I feel like she was being very kind of adamant of saying like, I don't want to leave where I am. Like, I'm not moving for you. I kind of got that from her.
Yes.
She was very like, I have horses. I want to be close to my fam. Like, I am staying here. And so maybe, I don't know if that's going to sway Gerry's decision. I don't know if like she can change her mind on that, but like I got that from their conversations.
I actually watched this episode with my mom for the first time. She caught up and we watched it together. The whole time I was saying, this is giving the vibes that Faith is going to leave. I thought Faith was going to leave.
On her own?
On her own. I think she was. So she kept saying like, I want to make sure like you're up for this lifestyle. Cause again, I'm not leaving this lifestyle. I love this life, which is fair at 70 years old. You should be settled in or whatever, like at that age, you should be settled into your lifestyle.
Yeah. And she's got
and they kept showing close-ups of her as he was talking about how much he liked her. And it felt like they were editing it as if she was about to leave and have this conversation. Like, I can't do this. I can't. And that's where I thought we were going to end the episode. I really thought that's where we were heading, which makes me even more confused on how this thing's going to end.
Yeah.
But I think there was a moment on the horses, though. I thought Gerry was going to like wipe out when they were trying to kiss each other and they were both riding the horses next to each other. They were like leaning on to each other. I thought they were stuck. Like they were like leaning on each other. If one of them stopped kissing, they would fall off.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I'm like, I saw it coming. I was like, they're for sure gonna make out on the horses, but like, but yeah, I mean, I think it went pretty well. They met the two sons and a couple grandkids. Played some football with them, right? I think he tossed the pin,
tossed the pig skin around a little bit.
Yeah.
That was really it for me. And they did say that he was in love
very
with
wholesome.
her.
Yeah, and he said, "I love you" in front of the family to Faith. Faith said it back. They made out in front of the family.
Yeah, it was a weird she like whispered it in front of the family.
Yeah, but it was like a whisper that like it was probably dead silent, so everybody probably heard. So it was like, yeah,
weird to put her in the corner to say that in front of the family, though. I would say.
Yeah, it was. I can't imagine like being the son watching that. You know, just be like, oh,
watching grandma or watching mom make out with this dude on after.
Yeah, I don't know.
Strange. But. Leslie's hometown. Skull.
Yep. Skull. I wrote that in the notes.
Skull. Yeah, I know. I saw it. Huge win for the Vikings today. So shout out to Minnesota. Shout out to the Vikings. Shout out to Leslie. So Leslie's hometown, pretty straightforward. Again, these hometowns are just, it's all teeing up for the end. And so let's just get into it. The last rose ceremony. We talked about it a lot. Gerry's going to start crying at every hometown. Or every rose ceremony, sorry. And he gives the first rose to Leslie right off the bat. Right away. And then he hesitates, which is strange because he has said, let's break down the numbers here. He has told Faith that he loves her. He has told Leslie that he loves her. He has not told Theresa that he loves her. Giving Leslie, we know of. Giving Leslie that rose, that's one of the final two. We're into our final two here. On paper, the decision is made.
It's Faith, yeah.
So what is the hesitation? Why are we so caught up over this?
I mean, I think no matter what he is, I mean, you've seen him every last rose of every rose ceremony. He's gone down to tears, or at least a little like, start to shake. Yeah. Thing that, Gerry likes. Adorable, by the way, adorable. I think it only means that, well, he knows he's breaking one of their hearts. He just knows that. And I think it's so tough, that last rose for him, just to give it out, because he knows, like, right when he says the name, the other person is heartbroken immediately, and he has to deal with that / like, console that person. But I was watching this with one of my roommates that has not seen a single episode, but I was kind of explaining to him as it was going, like, this and that, there's 3 people left, hometowns, blah, blah, then there's 2, and then there's 1, obviously. And right when he gave Leslie the first rose, he was like, oh, like, it's gonna be her, right? Why would he not, like, he's obviously gonna give the rose to the person he likes the most first. And then when he paused and hesitated and went out and like started crying and stuff, he was like, oh, it's obviously gonna be Leslie then, like, it's, game, set, match. And I was just like, kind of makes sense, but
that was the other point. It's so so let's imagine he's like questioning, is it Faith or is it Theresa? But he's 100% confident in giving Leslie the rose.
Yeah.
Then it's over. Then it's done.
That's what you think. That's why
I'm so confused.
That's why I'm thinking that they're throwing us off the scent, where it's not going to actually be Leslie.
Then who is it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna throw on conspiracy hat, and I don't know if I want to do this because this is something that has been commented.
I got it.
A lot. Okay, go. You go.
He somehow gives them both a rose, and all 3 go to fantasy suites, because there's only 3 in fantasy suites.
He just wants to get Theresa to fantasy suites so bad. That's it. He's crying. He's crying. He's weeping because he knows he can't take Theresa to
He's like,
fantasy
Jesse.
suites.
He's like, Jesse. I need another rose. I gotta bang all 3 of these chicks.
Oh, why is it so weird when it's Grandpa?
It's not. It's fine.
But like that's not out of the question. That is
Yeah,
the
I
case.
mean, and the thing is, I think if he was like, "Yo, I need another rose," I think they would maybe be like, "You know what? Fuck it, 3 in fantasy suites.
Yeah.
We have an extra room booked. Like, we can do that."
I think it's likely that he just says I can't. But again, that's the point. If he ends up giving them all 3 roses, it's so clear that he likes Leslie the best.
Yeah.
So I don't even think that can be the case.
Then if you're the other 2, you're just like, why
Yeah.
are you so confuzzled? Like, just pick Leslie and
So then
let me-
something weird has to happen. Because
Yeah.
if he goes back, he's like, all right, I figured it out. I want to give this to Faith, or I want to give this to Theresa. God forbid. It's still so clear that he was confident in Leslie, but wasn't confident in the other 2.
Yeah.
So then what are we
Then
doing
it's-
here? So something weird's going to happen. And I'm going to ask you, there has been something that's been commented quite a bit on our TikTok. And I don't want to bring it to you if you don't want to know. Because I
is
don't
it
know if
about
this
that-
is.
Is it about that interview with the person and there's a mirror? He didn't.
No, it wasn't that. Wasn't that.
Okay.
But I did see that. But like that was speculation on who that could be.
Yeah, and there's very unclear. All you could see was
Yeah.
dark hair, and they all.
But there's a rumor that a certain somebody could return. Do you want? I'll keep.
Joan?
BachMaker code. BachMaker code.
I think I saw the comments. Is it Joan?
Yeah. So I'll put a spoiler alert 10 seconds before this in case this actually happens. I don't think it happens. I genuinely don't, because she's in the tell-all.
I mean, if that happens, I just don't think they'd be. I mean, that was not so long ago, but that was significantly longer. Like, is he going to give the rose to Joan over Faith, who he just said "I love you" to, or Theresa, who he's like been saying "I'm falling for you" and stuff? Like, there's no way. So like,
but that also doesn't change. Like, he wouldn't know she was like returning at this point for the rose ceremony, so it wouldn't change how he goes about it.
Yeah,
it's all so confusing.
Yeah, that would be. I don't know. That would make me kind of uncomfortable. Like, I just feel like, really, like, if she comes back and then gets the rose, I'd be like, Gerry, that is kind of fucked. Like, I'd be like, what the fuck, man? Like, you just said I love you to Faith, and you haven't seen this chick for multiple weeks, and you only went on one-on-one date with her, and you're just like gonna put her in the last 2. And then if you're Leslie, you're like, do I have this shit locked up, or like, what is going on here? I'd be so like questioning myself.
Here's the only way Gerry gets out of this unscathed and looks fine. If he comes back, the episode starts, and he goes, "This is Leslie. It's Leslie. It's over."
No, but
that's
2
if he comes
episodes
back.
left,
if he comes, I know, but it's not going to happen. There's 0 chance this happens. But if he comes back and gives a rose to Faith after questioning it, it's clear Leslie's his number 1 then, and then there's no point. And then people are going to crap on Gerry for being like, dude, why are you telling multiple people you love them, all this stuff. The only way he comes out somewhat unscathed is if he comes out and says, I couldn't decide because my feelings for Leslie are stronger than the other 2. I have to go this way. I have to follow my heart. That's the only way, which isn't going to happen.
I mean, there's still fantasy suites and then a 2-hour finale. Like, that's impossible.
That's what they're telling us there is, but who knows? Maybe we're wrong.
No, they're not. No.
I know. There's 0 chance. Which is why I gave Gerry my Golden Glammy award, because he's going to come out as the bad guy at the end of this, and I feel terrible about it.
I think somehow
there's no way out. He's dug himself in a hole.
I think somehow they both get a rose, like all 3.
Okay, all 3.
That's
another
my
way.
guess. Because then it makes not only fantasy suites, it gives them more stuff. Because now, I mean, just 2 people left in fantasy suites. That's not that much, you know. They still have content for 3 people in fantasy suites, and then 2-hour finale with 3 people. That's more doable, you know.
But still, then it's so obvious he'd be into Leslie more if he was like, "You get the rose. I don't know about you 2, so I'll give you both the rose."
No, I think it's way less of that. If he no,
okay,
I really don't think so. I do think Leslie for sure should have minus odds right now, but
by far the favorite. But yeah, we'll see. I'm worried about Gerry. I really am. I don't think it's gonna end well for him. Let's get into Paradise. Paradise was a little less eventful this week. We did have 2 new women make their way to the beach. Let's start out with Kat and Tanner breaking up. R.I.P. We love on this show. We hate to see breakups, but this one was coming, and I don't think anyone's upset about it.
That wasn't love. That wasn't love. Are you kidding me?
That wasn't. You're right. That's fair. Kat and Tanner go to talk, and
This is great.
Tanner breaks up with Kat. Kat says she breaks up with Tanner and tells everyone that she just ended things with Tanner.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of notes that I have pointed out just from this talk, just from this first
You
5
go.
minutes.
You have the floor for Kat and Tanner's breakup.
So first we have Tanner finally wakes up, right? And and him and Kat go and on that bed and talk. The first thing Tanner says is, "I like the bathing suit."
Yes.
I was dying. I was like, that's crazy how like you just went on a date with Davia. You woke up like super late. Kat's obviously pissed at you, and you're just like the bathing suit, like, and she's clearly
He
wearing
said
like,
it just like that
kind
too.
of revealing bathing suit. And I was just like, bro must be like shitting his brains out if that's the only thing that came out of. That's the first thing that came out of his mouth. Like, wow. But then they kind of got talking a little bit more, and Tanner was obviously ending things. And he said some things. I don't know the exact quote, but he said something about there are some things I want in a wife, and like and he was kind of saying like you're like not it. And I was just like, damn. I mean, like facts, but like, damn, you didn't have to do her like that.
Like you're not wrong, but
yeah.
like don't say it.
Don't. Yeah,
That's a lot of that happens on Paradise. Where like you're not wrong, don't say it.
Yeah. And then Kat says, not only to Tanner, but she also says it to all of her gals later when she's saying that I broke up with Tanner. She says, you don't even open mouth make out. And I was like, oh my gosh, you sound like a high schooler that just like, had their first like, kiss. I was just like, what is going on? Like, Kat, like your priorities are all jumbled. It's like, I just want to open mouth make out. Yeah. I'm just like, bro, Kat, what are you doing?
And Tanner's over here like, I'm looking for things in my wife. The first thing is only closed mouth makeouts. That's it.
Yeah.
No open mouth makeouts.
Or people with 2 different color eyes.
Yes. That's 2 things Tanner wants in a relationship. Over 1.5 eye colors and only closed mouth makeouts. And then that person happens to be Davia. So Tanner found the one.
But yeah, so, and then I think Olivia said a great quote about Kat while we're on Kat. Olivia said, Kat is the Tasmanian devil of paradise. And I was like, that is a fire analogy. That is a fire analogy. That sums it up perfectly, I think. Because right after that, we have Kat going in the shower with, oh my God, what is her name?
Kylee.
No. Aaron B.
Oh, no, Eliza.
And
this was so uncalled for. This was wild.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy how she just now told her after, getting broken up with, and clearly just wants to cause drama. But she's just like, oh, like, by the way, like, Cherry and I are best friends. Like, we're the bestest of friends. And she was saying, like, if you're going to stay away from one guy, stay away from Aaron B because he's a fuckboy. Like, he was there for the wrong reasons on Charity season. And, like, he had a girlfriend, like, when he went on The Bachelorette. And I was just like, what the fuck, Kat? Like, if you're going to say that to Eliza right when they start being a thing with Aaron B, not, like, literally, I don't know how many weeks after. Like, what?
Yeah. Hurricane Kat was in full effect, and we'll talk about the Aaron B and Eliza stuff later on because that was towards the back half of the episode once Charity shows up. But then Kat goes on to full court press John Henry later on as well. So Kat is just spiraling at this point, looking for anything. So New Girl comes down. Who is that? No one knew who that was. Genevie?
Wait, no. People knew Genevie.
I had no
Genevie
idea who
made it.
Genevie was.
Genevie made it not far, but she made it. People knew her more than like Becca.
Well, yeah. I think neither of them, I did not know who they were.
Genevie made it, I think, at least 1, maybe 2 weeks, maybe. Like,
Okay.
no, like, I recognized Genevie when she came down. I was like, I've seen her before. I've seen her.
I'm
before.
starting to realize you watched Zach's season a lot closer than I did because I
Yeah.
don't remember any of these girls. But then she decides to talk to Blake.
Yeah.
And Blake and Jess had their whole debacle, mostly last episode, the episode before,
Yeah.
but they're in the aftermath of Blake is just begging Jess to be like, I'm into you. And Jess is refusing to do it. Absolutely refusing to do it. And so Blake decides, I'll go on this date with Genevie as someone who's actually interested in me, which fair. I've come around on Blake a lot. I'm Katie. I'm always a Katie stand. I will love Katie and support her no matter what, ride or die. But I've come around on Blake. I don't mind him. I think he's by far the most mature on the beach, which I think he's also the oldest, so that helps.
Except when he's saying like out or bout
about
or anything with a Canadian accent. I'm sorry, I just can't take him serious.
Once the Canadian part comes out, then he loses some points.
Comes out.
He goes to the date with Genevie. They don't really do much, at all.
I think it was a very mid date. I wrote that down. It was mid. There was nothing crazy. Yeah, they made out at the end of it on the beach and stuff, but like that seemed. I don't ship them at all. I didn't see any real chemistry.
Yeah, I think there's a small part of Blake that just wants to make Jess jealous.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably a big part of Blake that wants to make Jess jealous.
Yeah. And while that was happening,
then we have our not our boy, because I'm still not a big fan of him, Tyler Norris, sliding in after being all in on Mercedes to begin, is like, you know what? I'm also in on Jess. And I'm going to go in on Jess and then make a move. And then they start talking and he pulls. There needs to be a phrase or a saying for saying cringy things, but you're too hot so you can get away with it. Because Tyler Norris falls in that category. He says some things that if Aaron B said them, I would be like, dude, what? Like when he was like, they were talking and he said like, don't you ever just like look in the mirror and think, damn, I'm gorgeous. He said that. It's a direct quote. Direct quote, almost, maybe direct quote, but something very close to that. And I was thinking if anyone else on the beach said that, that's very hard to watch. And it was somewhat passable. He got away with it. There needs to be a phrase or a saying for I'm so hot that I can get away with saying cringy things. You and I could never say that. Ever. Ugh.
Damn.
No offense to either of us, but there's no way I could get away with saying that. And Tyler did somehow. But then Tyler and Jess make out, which honestly on paper they kind of make sense together, and I hate it. I hate it because I'm slowly I can't speak. I'm falling in love with Jess as well. I do like her.
I mean, she's hot and she's our age, and so.
You're right. There it is. Those two right there.
Checks 2 boxes.
Yep, those are the 2 boxes. So those two probably make more sense than her and Blake. So we'll see what happens there.
Tyler and Mercedes.
Yes, I'd agree.
So.
We'll see what happens there, but there was good editing montage of those 2 things happening back and forth. I think we'll get more resolution on that next episode. We didn't really get much. There was no really collision course. I don't remember a conversation that really happened that night.
I don't think we saw them coming back.
Yeah, I don't think they came back yet. So we'll see what happens with that. And then what happens next? Becca shows up?
Yeah, Becca.
And Becca shows up, talks to Brayden, and Rachel, I can't tell how she feels about this because she had that conversation with Brayden as Brayden accepts his date with Becca. And she was
Yeah.
like, no, like, you're fine. Go on this date. Like, you're totally cool.
Yeah. But then she was like, oh,
And
poor
then
me.
Brayden, yeah. And then she was like, wait, I actually kind of like Brayden. I think she was just having a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
I don't think
yeah,
it was necessary
exactly.
that Brayden was on this date. I think she enjoyed being not the center of attention, but like a normal person enjoyed the attention of going on a date, having this moment with Brayden.
Yeah.
That was fun, and then it wore off.
Yeah. So
So
that wasn't good for the fantasy team. I'm hoping. I wish Brayden just didn't accept that date and was just like, Rachel, like, let's ride. But we'll see. I still
one
think
moment.
I still think he
sorry.
could go back. I still think he could go back to Rachel. I don't think it's a
Yes, I
game
agree.
set match. Their date was very sensual, a lot of kissing, a lot of touching, and them being close. But I think he could for sure still go back to Rachel.
I'd agree. There was one moment I want to talk about with Tyler and Jess. They were talking, and Tyler had a line where I want to see where we're at on this because he said, well, like it's still early on in paradise. You need to explore. At what point are we not early on in paradise? Because someone could say next week. There could be a next week line where someone says, well, we're getting down to the end of things, and I wouldn't bat an eye. So
Yeah.
I think we're not early on in paradise. So Tyler saying that was a little out of pocket.
Yeah, maybe because he showed up late. Maybe I don't know.
He didn't show up
But
that
he-
late though. He
Yeah,
showed
he
up
showed up
like
week
the
2.
first
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do see that because I was looking at the schedule and I'm like, there's next week's episode, then after that, there's another episode, and then there's an hour episode. Wait, there's next week, and then there's week after that, and then there's an hour episode. And then there's
Really?
none. And no, then there's none for Thanksgiving, and then after that, there's only an hour episode because the Golden Batch has 2 hours.
Okay.
And then it's the finale of. Then there's a 3-hour finale. I looked at the schedule.
Really?
So there's
So
2
yeah,
4 episodes left, a half, a skip for Thanksgiving, and then only a half episode, and then a mega episode finale.
So Tyler, I mean, you're just wrong. We're not
Yeah.
early on in paradise at this point. We are
It's
at the midway point.
Yeah, close to the end. Close to the end.
We
of the
tipped
third
off
quarter.
the third quarter. Yeah, I wouldn't say end of third quarter.
Mid
I'd
third
say
quarter.
like mid third quarter.
Second
Yes.
drive
Yes.
of the third quarter for sure.
And so you can't. This is we're at the point of the game where you consider going for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
We're at that point. I love when we bring in like sports references, and I just would love to know the people who listen, because we're in the minority of people who would understand both references. I would agree, or I would believe. So shout out to the people who understood what we just said the last 10 minutes. What happened? Becca comes down, takes Brayden, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I wrote down
I don't
poor
think
Rachel.
Becca's.
Poor Rachel, to be honest. I think it is kind of fucked. Like, you went on a date yesterday and you went on another date, Brayden. Like, at what point can you say no to a date? I feel like that is kind of fucked, but
Yeah, I think next week is officially the week where someone will say no to a date.
yeah. I also do think that I kind of ship Becca and Brayden a little bit.
Do you? Come on.
Age-wise, they're the same age. They're both like 24, I think, maybe 25, 24.
Is it weird I'm the same age as Brayden?
No, he's a year older than us.
We're both 24.
I think he's 25. He's
They
24
said
on
24.
Okay. Then Becca's also 24. She's 25.
That's strange to me.
Yeah. But I kind of saw it. Like, their personalities seemed kind of like, I don't know. I could see it. If he like was just like, I'm gonna couple up with Becca, and they're gonna ride off into the sunset, I would be like,
I'd be shocked. I would be shocked if that happens.
I mean, obviously you have to pick Rachel. Like, she's just way cooler. But
yes,
and she's on my fantasy team, so yeah.
No.
That'd be a nail in the coffin. That'd be a nail in the coffin if Brayden chooses Rachel. That'd be a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that'd be real tough for me. I can't recover from that. Last things to wrap up the night were the John Henry, Kat, Olivia love triangle, if you want to call it that, but I think it's very one-sided. I think Kat's just throwing down Hail Marys to see if something would fit, and John Henry, as a dude, is just like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like,
Oh,
hot,
goes
hot,
flirting with me.
hot
That's
girl
so
talking to
cool.
me. Do you want to hear about my scuba diving? I could swim really deep in the ocean. And
Yeah,
he just
I
like
did like.
doesn't. I don't know if he realizes yet that Kat was hitting on him until Olivia pointed it out.
Yeah.
Olivia was like, she's like all over you, and he was like, wait,
What?
what? I was just talking about scubaing,
Yeah.
scubaing, scubaing,
Scuba diving.
scubiving. Yeah.
Scuba.
Scuba.
Yeah, I did. I thought that was weird. I did appreciate Olivia's. She was talking with Charity. No, she was talking with somebody, and she was pretty much making fun of Kat, like, "Oh my god, like, oh John Henry," and like pretending to be Kat with like playing with her hair and stuff. That was very funny. Obviously, the comedic relief of the season, Olivia, doing her thing. So
I can't wait for award ceremony when we give out awards for this season. I think Olivia's gonna rack them up,
yeah, for
rack
sure.
up some awards.
Yeah.
Someone also tweeted that Kat's gonna go bald by the end of the season because she's always just like pulling her hair out.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
That'd be great.
Um,
So then, do we think Olivia and John Henry are in jeopardy at all? There was a shot of John Henry making out with Kat for next episode.
And there was a shot of a preview of the rose ceremony, and John Henry was clearly like the last guy to give out a
Yeah.
rose, and so it's clearly like that's like the big like who's he gonna pick? Who's he gonna pick? So I don't know. I could also see John Henry picking up that rose, putting it down, and leaving, and saying maybe like fuck this.
And what he puts his helmet on and runs into the ocean.
It's just, sorry guys, gotta go to work.
Sorry
And you
guys,
see
gotta
it-
go.
And his bros like come pick him up on their like boat, and he's just like puts on a thing, dives in.
You just hear
And
a boat in
everyone's
the
just like-
distance. Wee,
I was
wee,
like,
wee.
what the fuck? And all the guys are probably like, let's go, like that's it.
That would be the
I don't know.
best way for John Henry to leave this season.
I mean, the preview did see like the preview did like show like some gasps and like, oh, so I think something crazy is gonna happen. I think he's going. Like I think he's just gonna leave.
You think he just leaves?
I think he just like
I
says.
like that.
I think he kind of just like, I'm not really feeling with Olivia. I'm not really feeling with Kat. Like I kind of just want to go home and like hang with the boys in golf because he's getting in golf
Yeah.
now.
Oh
So,
yeah, I forgot about that. He was talking about
Yeah.
golfing, and it was Olivia did her best LeBron impersonation. You know when LeBron, the famous GIF of him where some football player was like, "Yeah, this is my favorite set," or like a coach always says this quote, and LeBron's like, "Yeah, dude, that's like my favorite saying." He does that all the time. Where Olivia did the same thing, where John Henry was like, "I love golfing," and she was like, "No way. Can we golf together? I also love golfing. That's
Yeah.
like my favorite thing to do." So she did a lot of like, yes, man. I agree with everything you say. So John Henry's just like walking on sunshine on this beach. He can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Because even
But-
I'll say this, even Olivia isn't blaming John Henry for feeding into Kat's
Mhm.
advances.
He's innocent.
She's
Innocent.
all on Kat. She's like, she says John Henry's almost too dumb to realize that Kat is hitting on him. That I
Which-
need to like protect him.
Which did you see my point about the Twitter beef? Should we talk about that?
Yes, we need before.
say
So
that.
we'll end with the Aaron B. Eliza charity stuff, but Twitter beef between
I have-
Kylee, Aven. You have the tweets. All right,
I have the tweets.
perfect. Let's role play. I don't have them up actually, so you're gonna have to role play all three people. But
Right now?
Kylee, Aven, and Olivia beefed on Twitter. They do not like each other. So I
Yeah.
think it's very clear that Kylee and Aven are
Together. They leave
together.
I
That
think it's-
it feels endgame at this point. But go ahead,
just-
read the tweets. I'll put them up on the screen while you read them too.
So this is Liv Lou at It's Liv Lou on Twitter. So she says, Will shows interest in me and kisses me. Kylee messes it up once she catches wind. John Henry shows interest in me and we are together. Kylee encourages Kat to mess it up. Anyone else sensing a pattern? Question mark. Hashtag Bachelor in Paradise. And then Kylee says, I owe you nothing. I'm loyal to my actual friends. Have a good night. Smiley face. Then It's Liv Lou says, is that why you just called me twice to tell me that? Or is it gonna be the fake pageant voice where you pretend that it's not really not what really went down?
Kind of bars because everyone knows that pageant voice.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what voice she was talking about.
And then Aven from left field, I think this was so uncalled for. I think this is such a douchey tweet. I don't know,
Chances it was Kylee on Aven's phone.
maybe, I guess. Maybe it was Kylee sitting next to Aven, like, you better fucking
Yeah.
say something.
Are
better
you not
fucking
gonna
say something."
defend me? Are you not gonna defend
Like,
me on
really? Are
Twitter?
you kidding me? Okay. And Aven said, give a night one elimination some meaningless screen time, and they start to think they can just say anything. And then this emoji.
Fuck that.
Facepalm.
Fuck that tweet from Aven. That's
That was
so
fucked
uncalled
up.
for.
That was so fucked up. And I think Kylee retweeted it. Yeah, and then Olivia said, I was unaware you had to make it past night one to call a spade, my fault. The night one elimination comment is tired of being used to find new content, which is facts. Like, that's so fucked. Like, just because
Yeah.
night one, like, she's been on every episode of Paradise. Like, she's going crazy. And then Aven says, call a spade, question mark? You're literally blaming someone else for your own self-inflicted failed relationships. You have obviously gained some confidence to speak like this since your first go round, hence the night one reference. Not that it hinders your overall opinion. So you saw him starting to backpedal with that tweet, saying like,
Backpedal, yeah.
ooh, maybe I fucked up a little bit, saying like, maybe that was a little harsh. But then you saw him throw in some big words to make him, look smarter than he probably is. He uses hinders, hence. He tried to use hence, maybe.
Yeah, you can't drop hence. If you drop hence in a Twitter argument, it's over.
Yeah, self-inflicted. Yeah, so he was using some words to try to like, make him look smarter. But I don't know. And that does reading this back, you obviously have your own self-inflicted failed relationships. Is that foreshadowing that Olivia and John Henry don't work out?
Maybe John Henry goes scuba diving and leaves.
Maybe he goes scuba diving.
That.
Or even worse, goes hurricane hunting.
Oh, I'm just scrolling through Olivia's Twitter right now. I love her. She just retweets every single thing positive about her. That's such a power move. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like, who's commenting on this argument, she's just retweeting all the things that agree with her. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Should I do it? Wait, should I do it right now? Let's tweet at her.
That tweet, I would be like,
what should we tweet at Olivia and see if we can get a retweet by the end of the night?
I love you, Marion.
Just caught up on the Twitter
hashtag Bachelor
drama.
in Paradise.
Yeah, and the hashtag Bachelor in Paradise Twitter drama.
And all I know is at It's Liv Lou is queen and always will be.
My final stance. Anyone who messes. What'd you say?
That
at
Olivia
Liv Lou
is queen and always will be.
It's Liv Lou is queen. I don't know. That doesn't sound like me. It's coming from my Twitter. My final stance at Liv Lou.
I feel like you say queen all the time.
You're right. I will.
Like with Olivia Rodrigo.
Is cracking. Oh wait, how about this? At Liv Lou has cracked my top 3 queen rankings. Number 1, Olivia Rodrigo. Number 2, it's at this Olivia, and number 3, Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah. Wow, you're putting over Elizabeth Olsen?
You're right. That's a lot.
Put her at 3. Put her at 3. She'll still respect that she's on the same list as Olivia Rodrigo.
Should I maybe Elizabeth Olsen is too deep of a cut. Maybe I'll put Taylor Swift. Just for the numbers. Just for the numbers.
And then tag Travis Kelce too.
So my final stance, at It's Liv Lou has cracked my top 3 queen ranking. Number 1, Olivia Rodrigo. Number 2, Olivia, Queen of the Beach. And then number 3, Taylor Swift.
And then dishonorable mention, Kylee. And then tag her.
Wait, all right. Recap. Just cut up on the hashtag Bachelor in Paradise Twitter drama. My final stance at It's Liv Lou has cracked my top 3 queen ranking. Number 1, Olivia Rodrigo. Number 2, Olivia, Queen of the Beach. Number 3, Taylor Swift. No further questions.
It's good. It's good.
It's posted. Let's see if we can get that retweet by the end of the night. Anything else on that drama? We're obviously Team Olivia in that. Aven kind of came out of left field and realized he fucked up. And I 100% Kylee and Aven were together watching this episode or watching when the Twitter drama went on and whatever. Last thing on Paradise is still a cliffhanger. We don't know how it's going to really end. Aaron B just continues to shoot himself in the foot. Kat brings it up to Eliza that Charity doesn't or was thought that Aaron had a girlfriend beforehand, and then the story that Aaron B told included way more women than he was being accused of, which was really funny because Aaron B was like, dude, it didn't happen like that at all. I was actually talking to another girl. We're like, Aaron, shut up. You're not talking about that. So, well, it wasn't my ex-girlfriend. It was the other girl I was talking to after my ex-girlfriend right before the show, which was in January. And Aaron, you're talking too much. You're doing too much. He kept digging himself in a hole, which it ended up being way more controversial than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a one-off. Charity actually likes Aaron B, but I didn't really know that all this happened. Charity comes down. All the girls say, hey, Charity, we love you. Oh my gosh. Kat's like, my best friend in the entire world is here. Cap, not true. But I don't know what's going to happen with this. I still think it's just going to blow over. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think Eliza and Aaron B are fine. Yeah,
I think they'll talk it out. They're both mature.
Yeah, and just Aaron, man, the amount of times he said, I have a disgruntled ex and I'm gonna lose this great relationship that I have with Eliza because I have a disgruntled ex. And Charity, how keen are you into ruining my life? What?
Eliza's that fig jam that I need on my charcuterie board.
I have my charcuterie board and I just want my fig jam. And my charcuterie board isn't complete without my fig jam. But Charity comes in and she's stealing all my fig jam. She's saying I had other fig jams before I made this charcuterie board.
But this fig jam is the best fig jam I've ever had.
I've never had a fig jam like this, and I want this fig jam for the rest of my life while I'm drinking wine on my charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. That sums up the Aaron B moment. Headlines.
In the off season, we got to get Aaron B on the podcast.
I think we can. I think
it's number one priority. I think
off season interviews are going to be electric because I think we can get some big ones. I need to talk to Aaron B. I need him on the pod. I'll DM him tonight. Actually, I'll shoot him a message and say, hey, whenever you're free, we got to get you on. Let's do Twofers real quick, and then we'll wrap up with headlines. Twofers for Golden Batch. How do you want to do this? Do we just want to hope and do a hopeful twofer that Faith stays, Theresa goes?
Yeah, let's just agree on that. Yeah.
Put our brains together.
Hard to do that.
Yeah, I can't really say anything else. I hope that's the case. What do you got for Paradise?
Paradise, my prediction is that the rose ceremony is going to be one of those. We're going to get a cliffhanger again with the John Henry. I think they're going to play it out a bunch. They're going to do the rose ceremony. They're going to end it on John Henry cliffhanger. So I don't think we're going to see the end of the rose ceremony. But girls going home. Mercedes gone. I think she's gone. I think Jess and Tyler are gonna couple up a bit. So I think Mercedes is gone. And then for my stay, I will do Genevie. Yeah. I'll say Blake gives his rose to Genevie.
All right, I like that.
Who we just won a date with.
I'm looking at my board. I'm gonna say, I think we do get an answer with John Henry. Actually, I kind of like your theory that he might just leave. So
cool.
we're gonna get another week of Peter.
Cat. Oh my, yeah. Well, I think they were talking a lot. Like they might just couple up and like
Peter and Sam, right?
Yeah, they're the most irrelevant couple. I don't think anybody really fucks them, really.
I'll say, okay, no. Instead of a 2 for this week, I'm just gonna go. I think we get a red wedding episode of Paradise. I think like 8 people go home. I think people self-eliminate. I think we start to get the, all right, this is getting serious. I think people will self-eliminate. I think people will go home. I think we get a full rose ceremony. I'll say this. I think we get rid of over 6 people next episode.
All girls?
That's
or some dudes,
some guys.
girls?
I think John Henry might leave. I think FP or a couple might just leave. That's happened before where they say, hey, like, I don't want to be on the show anymore, but like, we're going to leave, which is dumb on their part because like, get money.
Free alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, and more clout. But I'll say that instead of a 2-fer because there's too many people on this beach right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say we get over, I'll say over
5.5.
I want to say 4.5. Can I do that? Can I say over 4.5? Is that bold enough?
That's bold. I mean,
Okay,
how many
I'm gonna say,
girls would
it would be,
many girls-
I think 3 or 4 would go home if it's just a
Yeah.
normal rose ceremony. So I'm gonna say over 4.5 people go home on Paradise next episode. All right. Any headlines? The big headline I had was the Twitter drama, so there's not much there.
No, I don't think so.
Perfect. All right, we can wrap up there. Everyone, thanks for watching BachMakers. Make sure to subscribe. If you've watched this far, you've put in the work. You might as well subscribe. Every Monday, we'll have a new episode recapping what's going on. And yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Peace.